second for you. Getting closer.
Hello, new friends. I'm Stacy Rich with S Rich Life, and today I'm taking over this episode of Getting Close Up, the Retro Show, the show that is focused on independent artists and creatives. And today we are checking in with some of your favorite guests, as well as putting your host, Danielle Cox, and her team in the hot seat to find out the ins and outs of the show, as well as its mission. So let's first take a look at some of the highlights over the season.
Today we are getting close up with The Sanctuary. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Look at all these people I got here today.
It's like, I'm writing this for you, and I'm never, this is just for you. I'm never going to play this for anyone. This is a special song, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, it was just a very emotional time. And, she basically said, I want you to play this for the world. Promise me you'll keep playing music.
What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I think it would be the same thing that I've been doing, to keep going.
One of the parts that's hard, though, as a creative, where I feel I've lucked out and kind of still working corporate, higher ed, is understanding how to do both creative and business. So when it comes to accounting and taxes or even pitching yourself, all the images and stuff, those are great. But Uncle Sam has to get paid.
Yes, he does.
And I still have to get paid.
That
and how
too.
do I make sure what to value myself as?
If you would have finished the book when you thought you should have finished the book, that it would be the same today.
No. And it's interesting you say that, and I'm glad you said it the way you did, because that actually gives me a different perspective just in this moment. So thank you for that.
There are certain things that I do not and will not compromise, right? So it's like I would like to perform with certain artists, particular artists, but if they don't know who they are as artists, then I don't want to perform with them, though. It's
important.
Right. It sounds good, like, I want to jump on the track with.
So if I had 250,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you can monetize those opportunities because you have that many people following you.
So let's dive in, because we have a lot to discuss today. Our first guest is the one and only executive producer of Getting Close Up, Mr. T. Gatson. He is the man behind the camera, but also chopping it up in the edit suite and making this look seamless. Now, if you've been a part of a production, you know that is not always seamless. So welcome to this side of the camera, Mr. Gatson.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're excited to have you on today. And the first question I have for you is, where does this master production skill come from? Tell me a little bit about your creative story.
Everything started in music. I grew up first wanting to be a writer. Then it turned to music, and from there, I started getting into producing, engineering, which led to music videos, and from there, it opened the door for everything else.
Awesome. That's so neat. So the channel that this is on, the Sanctuary Entertainment, that is your channel, correct?
Yes. My production company is called The Sanctuary Entertainment. We are one-stop shop. We do music videos. We do recording, the studio. You can rent out the studio. I write songs. Dee writes songs. We collaborate together. We just one-stop shop. If you want anything from a production perspective, we do blogs for other people as well. So you can hire us out to do that on location or in-house.
Well, you're well-rounded. That's amazing. So for this show, I understand that I know Danielle had this vision, but you're responsible for nudging Danielle. So what did you see as a vision for this story, and what do you see happening?
So the idea first started as an idea for a radio station. I wanted to do a independent artist radio station, so that artists could send in their songs and we could play it over the internet, you know. And so that's what I first presented to Danielle. Her have her own show on the radio, and she was up for that. You know, having a in-house studio, a recording studio, you have all the equipment already, so that was going to be a quick turnaround to make that happen. Somehow, some way though, it morphed into a television show, and I wanted to just turn it into a talk show. And so Danielle and I had lunch one day, and we were talking about she thought we were talking about the radio show, but we were talking about the live show, the talk show, and I was like, wait a minute, oh, I forgot to tell you, you're going to be on camera now.
I'm sure she was thrilled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's how just small, minute detail that she needed to understand.
So what has been the biggest challenge of the production so far?
Really finding the people to be a part of it that really have an interest and really have the wherewithal to want to start something and grow with it until it becomes something. We started with more people than we have now. You see on the credits that it's down to 3 people, Dee, Danielle, and I. But we had about between 6 and 7 people when we first started, and along the way, picking up some people that, you know, didn't follow through.
Wow.
I think that's been the hardest thing, finding somebody that's really wanting to grow with something.
Definitely.
Make it happen.
Yeah, being able to see the big picture, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So is this your first podcast then, would you say, or visual podcast?
Yeah, it's my first podcast.
Yeah.
Prior music videos and releasing singles.
So now that you have this season under your belt, the first season, what would you say to someone starting a podcast would be the do's and don'ts to starting one?
The don'ts: don't do what everybody else is doing. When we first started, I wrote the theme music for the show.
Wow.
And the person I was working with as the producer, when we first started out, was like, that's not like everybody else and what they're doing. You know, and I'm like, yeah, it's not supposed to be, you know. So really finding your niche. You know, nobody else was doing anything for independent artists. Everybody, all the other bloggers are wanting to do something with celebrities, you know, get them in-house or talk about Real Housewives or something like that, you know. But nobody was doing anything with independent artists. And being an independent artist myself, you know, it's like, there's room for us to have a voice.
Absolutely.
And it's needed. So that's where the idea came from.
That's the foundation of creativity, right? Or the independent artist out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, what can we expect from you creatively in the near future? Do you have anything that you're working on for yourself?
For myself, I am working on The Sanctuary's next single, which is my house group, shall I say. The Sanctuary is a collaboration of singers that come together, and singers or writers, and we come together and record under the name of The Sanctuary. So everybody, they may be independent artists that just want to be a part of this project or what have you, but we just come collaborate together and make it happen.
So if someone wanted to get connected with you, work with you, or anything like that, would they go to your channel, or is there a website you would like me to send them to?
My website is www.thesanct.com. You can go to the website, as well as you can email us at contact@thesanct.com.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to see what you do with the show in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Our next guest is a very special guest because he was the first episode of Getting Close Up, a diverse artist that's creative journey started in music and has now branched into film and photography that is heavily influenced by the Kansas City jazz scene. So welcome to the show, Mr. Diallo Javonne French. I want to ask you, the common theme that I got from hearing you speak on the last episode was that you seem to boldly take action, whether it be putting yourself out there to meet important people for your journey, or sending a letter to someone like Lionel Richie as a child. So what is your driving force?
I guess you could say I've always been a dreamer. Ever since I was a little kid, and I get it from my mother. My mother, she's deceased now, but her dream was to be a novelist. Her dream was to be a novelist, and for whatever reason, she never pursued it. And one of the things she used to tell me is that she always admired that I always had the initiative to pursue my goals and dreams. And for me, it's not that difficult because I've never been married. I don't have any kids, so I have the time to do it. A lot of people, once they get into the full, having a family and all of that good stuff, they don't have the time and the energy to do it. They don't have the time and energy to do it. So, I guess my blessing has been, if you want to call it a blessing, that it's just been me. So I've had the time and energy to pursue my aspirations. And it's just something that's just always been in me. I don't really know where it comes from. I'm not sure if I have an answer for that. It's just kind of something that's always been there. Like you said, ever since, I sent that song to Lionel Richie when I was 11. Who does that? So.
You do. Getting Close Up's mission is to help creatives connect and have a platform to share their creative, their work and their stories, right? So if you could share one piece of advice for someone wanting to become a documentarian, what would it be?
If it's a documentary, if it's documentaries, I don't really think of myself as a documentary. I think of myself as a filmmaker. It just so happens this particular film is a documentary, but I always, in terms of whether it's film, documentaries, or music, do subject matter that you're passionate about and that you know. If you're a sports person, then you probably shouldn't do a documentary on literature. Do what you love, what you're passionate for. People ask me all the time about my photography, and a lot of people want to get into photography. We live in a day and age where everybody's a photographer because everybody has a camera on their phone. So what's going to separate you from every other millions of person on the planet? And so what I always tell people is photograph what you love and you'll always be great. So if you love cats, animals, photograph animals. If you love people and portraits and weddings, then do that. For me, I love music, so that was the transition into music photography, and that's what I'm more passionate about. I was never interested in doing weddings. I'm not really a big fan of doing portraits, but photograph what you love. And so the same thing goes for a documentarian. Make sure you know something about the subject matter and that you're passionate about the subject matter. You can tell when somebody does a documentary about something that they're not really that passionate about. It comes through in the work. So
I heard you say you currently serve on the Mo Film Board. I also served on multiple film boards as well, including Kansas City Women in Film and Television, with who you mentioned, Michelle Davidson. So I want to say it was a way for me to associate with other filmmakers in Kansas City and help empower our creative community, right? So how do you see serving on this board as helping your journey, and what advice would you give to someone wanting to get more involld in their film
I've known
community?
Michelle for a long time, all the way back when she hosted, the show used to come on PBS, KC Cinema. They had me on there, that's probably been over 10 years ago now. So I've known Michelle for a while, and she asked me to be on the board, which I was honored to be part of it. In fact, we just had a meeting a few days ago. And the advice that I would give to people is there is a film community here. The Film and Mo board, you can go to their website. There's also the KC Film website. Steph Shannon is the Kansas City Film Commissioner. That's definitely someone you want to keep in touch with and get to know. And actually, you can actually get on the KC Film their mailing list, because I get emails from them every so often about what's going on, and kind of gives you an update on like what films are being shot in the city, what's going on in the film community, different meetings. So I would start with just I think it's kcfilm.org, I think, or you could just Google KC Film and it'll take you to it. It's under the Visit KC umbrella.
So what did you get out of being on Getting Close Up, and how do you see this being a show of resources for other creatives?
I guess for me, because I don't get a chance. I mean, I've done television, and they're usually really short sound bites, but this was probably the longest interview that I've done in quite some time, and it's what I like about it is it makes me think about things I haven't thought about in a long time, like that Lionel Richie story and my time in Atlanta and in the past, and so usually when I do television, it's really fast, couple of minutes and so forth. So to sit down and kind of reflect, and that inspires me moving forward, to kind of think back on some of the things that I've accomplished and some of the things that I'm still trying to accomplish. So yeah, I think for any artist, it's good to sit down and just kind of reflect.
Definitely. If there was only one message you could give through your art, what would it be?
Oh man. I think love is one of those things. A lot of the screenplays that I write are love stories. Also, as African Americans, like African American music history is really important to me. That wasn't something that was always there when I was younger, but I think through traveling and becoming really engrossed in jazz, when I was in college and when I was in Atlanta, I really try to encourage African Americans to expand their mind beyond just urban music, which is rap and R&B. There's so many different types of music, and really we're at the core of most forms of American music in terms of their creation, whether it's rock and roll, or we probably got a hand in country, and there's blues. And so I encourage, that's another reason why I wanted to do the Kansas City Dreaming film, is just to encourage, like, we come from a really rich musical heritage, and sometimes we forget that because most of us only listen to what they call urban music, which is primarily hip hop and R&B. So that's really my message, is just love, and then just to be proud of our music culture. I guess would be the two things.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate your time.
No problem.
Now, I don't know about you, but all of this film talk is making me hungry for some popcorn. But not just any popcorn. I only want the GCU reviewed popcorn. And I only want to know if it's hot or not.
Hey guys, I'm Dee.
And I'm Danielle.
We are doing a popcorn review. Today we have boom.
Chicka pop.
I said a boom.
Chicka pop.
Hey,
Boom. Chicka pop.
Anyway, so this is pumpkin spice. I guess we're getting to the Oktoberfest.
It's fall, y'all. Yeah.
And, so this is what we got.
Don't want to do
this. It's the popcorn, pumpkin popcorn. So,
want to do this.
oh my God. I love a Snickers.
I love a Snicker. I love
the
it.
caramel, the peanuts. Is it peanuts in here?
It's peanuts in it. It's supposed to be peanuts in it.
So we
And
doing
whatever
the Snickers.
whatever nougat is.
It's called the candy popcorn. Y'all see this? But look, y'all see this? That's all you get. Just eat. Cause I know my face is like tore up, and I just.
Ooh, my burps is gonna be awful. I can't just over that one piece.
My whole face is looking stank.
Your whole face is stank right now. She's like, they are.
But I like it. It's got the a nice creamy peanut butter.
It is.
The butter is creamy.
It's very creamy and even.
It's not chewy like the others.
It's actually crunchy.
It has a little crunch to it.
It
and
is.
the chocolate is not overbearing.
Nope.
Woohoo.
I mean,
The last two popcorn,
my
I didn't have a
gosh.
crunch.
it didn't even crunch.
This is crunch. I like it
And it's not greasy.
at all. So yeah, what you think?
I like
give
it. For me,
Give it?
it gets a hot. I
It's
enjoy
hot
it.
for me.
I enjoy this flavor.
I get to eat.
I want to
popcorn
try the
this
other ones. I know they got some other flavors. They got a barbecue.
Hmm?
Yeah,
What?
I'll be willing to try that as
Come
well
on.
because this is delicious.
Next, we have a guest who is not only an artist, but also a serial entrepreneur with a patent on his product called U-Keys. Let's chat with Mr. Jarvis Rhone to see what he's been up to since the show. Hello, Mr. Rhone. Welcome to the show again. You said something I really like and I can relate to. You said being an entrepreneur, you realize that as you reach the peak of a mountain, there's always going to be another valley and then another mountain to climb. So I believe that's so important for those that want to build something to know. What is the peak you are striving for at this time since the show?
Since the show, I'm striving to, really just get in every school, every public school with the educational U-Keys. Just in every primary elementary school, to be more specific, with their music teacher, even if it's just one set, just to help kids be introduced to music through piano, and just help continue to promote music education.
Great. Your patent pending with the Braille on it was the climb you mentioned you were in the middle of on the show. How is that process going currently?
So currently, we're still just waiting for the patent to just fully be authorized. Still in the patent pending process, so we're just waiting to hear back from DC.
U-Keys seems to have become such a huge part of your identity. Are you still playing music, or how would you like to see yourself evolve over the coming years?
U-Keys has definitely took over a major part of my life, so I'm still playing. I'm playing it over at church right now, and just giving back. And so right now, as far as like playing out and gigging, and which is another major passion of mine, I've just had to take the back seat and just go listen, because right now it's just so time consuming.
What advice would you give to your younger self when you were just starting out on the journey of U-Keys with what you know now?
There's no shortcuts. The shortcut is to do it the right way the first time. Just do it right. Figure it out. Don't quit. Keep striving, and that's the shortcut. Because every time that you try to look for that actual, jumping through something or shortchanging something, it's always come back to bite you, and you're gonna end up doing it right again. So.
Yep. Getting Close-Up's mission is to provide a platform for creatives and to connect them to those that might need inspiration from someone like yourself. So if another entrepreneur was watching your episode, what would be the one thing that you'd want them to get out of your story the most?
Never quit. Just don't quit. Whatever goals or dreams you may have, just start them. For instance, as you can see, U-Keys was made to be cool and be colorful, which, I sell those too. But it just evolved into something bigger than even I can imagine. Just because I started going to conferences, sharing my idea, people gave input, and it ended up growing into something where the people with visually impairments can see value in U-Keys. So no matter what you're doing, just go for it. You never know where it's going to lead you.
Right. And can you explain to us what you're doing right now?
Right now, so my print is done. And right now we're making our rainbow set called Color Wave.
Oh.
And so right now I'm just taking them off and starting the process of shipping them out.
Very cool.
So it all connects and make one large pattern. Let me see that.
I love that. So how many keys?
So this will be
does it?
34 keys.
Okay.
When it's all said and done. 34 white keys.
Okay.
When it's all said and done. So this is for a 61 key keyboard, which is all I make for the with the customizable U-Keys.
Oh.
That's all I make right now at the moment.
I play an 88, so you can't put it on an 88 key?
Honestly, I don't recommend it for the 88s. To be honest, no matter who it is, because usually when you play an 88 key, you're very sensitive to the weight and all that kind of stuff. You're a lot more sensitive to feel.
Makes sense.
And and these do like there is a little height difference, and so honestly, with weighted pianos, I don't recommend it.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being on the show with us and showing us how this works. So we wish you the best. Thank goodness GCU has this next guest on their side. She is the mover and the shaker of the show, producer Dee Mott, who is the one that goes and seeks out the talent and helps with all of the connections that are on this show. Thank you. We're so excited to have you on the show.
I'm so excited to be here on the show.
On this side of the camera, right?
No. Yeah. It's a struggle. This side of the camera is hard for me.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Well, you must have some incredible connections. So to get this amazing talent on these episodes. So where are your connections from? How are you seeking these people?
Well, I've been in the industry as far as the restaurant industry, bar industry for a long time. And so, most of the venues that I've worked at have had live music. And so I meet everybody coming through Kansas City, everybody in the music scene and the restaurant scene. And so it just comes together. And then when I was at the Juke House, I helped with developing the thing called Soul Sessions. And so then that brought out more talent as far as people writing and the poets and things like that. So yeah, I've been involved with a lot of industry/music for a long time.
So when seeking your artist, what are you looking for? What stories are you trying to tell? What is it that you're seeking?
I see the ambition in a lot of them, not just the talent, but you see that it's people working, and putting their nose to the grind and trying to get their stuff out there. And so that's what I look in. I look in helping, because that's what this whole project is for, is to help the independent artist or business owner or whatever, get another audience. So that's what I look for. How can I help you help me?
That's
type
amazing.
Of situation.
Well, I think you seem like a master connector.
Yeah.
But what are the difficulties you've ran into in this role so far?
Just maybe getting the artist's bio. Because everybody's busy, you know what I'm saying? You want to be busy at this season before it gets cold, you know what I'm saying? So everybody was busy. So that's the hardest part, but it's not really a hard part, because when you come to them and say, hey, I got this show, boom, boom, I want you on it, they're pretty much with it. So it's not really been difficult, because everybody out here wants to be seen, right?
Yeah.
So that's the purpose of it. So ain't nobody gonna turn it down.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. So you are not only a producer of Getting Close Up, but you are also in front of the camera with the movie and popcorn reviews.
Yes.
May I just say that you and Danielle together have amazing charisma on camera.
Thank you.
I truly believe that. And you are such a natural on camera. Is this something you saw yourself doing? Or I heard you say just a little bit ago that you it was a little bit of a struggle for you. So can you tell me about that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, we started out with a bunch of people. And now it's just the three of us. So, I mean, if we got to keep it moving, you got to keep the train moving. So you have to jump out of your comfort zone. And so I had to.
So being in front of the camera was out of your comfort zone?
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm a behind the scene girl. I'm a writer. I'm a director. I'm a in the box type of girl singer. So, jumping in front of the camera is not my thing. Even though I know a lot of people, I'm not the person that really wants to be seen, if you understand what I'm saying. So,
well, you're being seen now.
I know. But that's inevitable. Even if I go into a crowded room in the corner, I'm seen. And I think people just say that's just because of the personality that I have.
I agree with that.
I think it was inevitable that T was to drag me in front of this camera.
So you and T go way back, right?
Way
I
back.
heard him here. I heard him say that you guys do other things together. Can you tell me about that?
Well, we write music, of course, and then we do videos. But we started off in the music. So we started off in the basement band, the garage band. You know, back in the day, you know, my best friend is his sister. And so that's how it all came together. But we've been working together for years. I ain't gonna tell you how many years, because then you try to guess how old I am. But yeah, we've been working together for a long time. And I think that's what makes us work, because we know each other so well. And I ain't saying T's hard to work with. But, you know, I can work with him because I know him so well. And so he doesn't mean any harm. He's just really, really ambitious, and he knows what he wants. And some people take that the wrong way, and some people take me the wrong way. So we just, we rub on each other, but we can deal with each other. So
Yeah. Well, his ambition is evident with the show, because you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. Thank
you.
you.
So you're welcome. I know you wear so many hats, and I'm hearing you say all of that. So what projects are you working on now outside of the show? And is there anything that we need to know about?
Outside of the show, so like I said, we wrote a song. We need to really get that put down, and we wrote it like right before we started this. So it's kind of like in the balance, but I kind of want to finish it. We found some of our old music from back in the day, and I really want to redo some of that. So, I mean, I kind of like going back to the music. I want to get back into the music, and then I'm going to be part of the Sanctuary, the choir that he has. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon too. I mean, as if we ain't got enough to do, but yeah, I'm going to jump on that. So that's the kind of what we working on, everything and anything, and whatever people want us to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just out here getting stuff for the show. I'm out here still getting stuff for the production company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have a blog that might be coming out. And so, you know, it's just a lot going on, but we want to keep it. You have to keep the train moving in order to keep, you know, things going. So
that's one of the things.
I'm out here. And still, I manage a restaurant too. So I do.
You have a lot of passion, I can tell, and I love it. And you know, you're right. If as someone running your own business with each other, it's like if you aren't working, it's not happening, right?
If we not working, we not working.
Moving, like you said. Right? So, if someone wanted to be on the show as talent, or if someone wanted to work with you musically or anything like that, can you tell us how we can find you?
Yeah, I have a Facebook. The Facebook is GCU DEE. So that's that. Then we have my Instagram is GCU_TV. Always DM me. I get right back to you. Other than that, I'm around. I'm in the city. I'll see you. Just
I'll come find you.
Plus, you know, I have open mic at the restaurant that I manage at the Combine, so you can come down there because that's where I find a lot of the talent.
Thank you so much, Dee. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. You're a lot of fun. And if you would like to be a talent on the show or work with Dee musically, her information that she just gave you will be in the description below. Sometimes we get to know people best when we let loose, ask random off-the-wall questions. With that goal in mind, Danielle has had a lot of fun with her guests. And let's take a look at those highlights of the GCU Game Time Reel.
Friends, welcome to another GCU Game Time. And I have with me Michelle Shunay. She is a director, writer, filmmaker, photographer, boss lady with many hats, and also, from what a little birdie told me, a Prince fan. You twisted your ankle running from Jason Voorhees, but you miraculously make it up to a room at the top floor of a house that has one window and one door. Who you with? So I'm going to say some little descriptors, and whoever you feel like it matches, point them out. Don't be scared. So let's go. Which one is always late?
Would you want to sing
No.
Overjoyed in front of Stevie Wonder?
Nope, absolutely not.
No.
And I'll be glad that you couldn't see me. That wraps up our game time today.
A percentage? Oh, is it? I'll say 60%. I'll say it's a majority of people.
30%.
Tanner gets the point, and actually, he got it exactly. 60%.
I'm just here to
Your lack of faith in
give
humanity
him competition.
helps you win.
Paid off.
I go to movies by myself all the time.
Well, easy question for a filmmaker.
That's
for
my
sure.
thing to do. Like having a date, like that messes up my whole vibe. Like,
I literally feel
and I gotta pay for her? No.
These next guests are not just artists themselves, but they've taken matters into their own hands and built a DIY stage and now put on events for Kansas City's music scene, allowing all types of artists to put on a show with what is called the Garden KC. So welcome to the show, Tanner and Rachel from the Garden KC. So I want to ask you, what was the most important thing you took away from being a guest on Getting Close Up?
I think Getting Close Up was great because we have a similar mission that we're just here to help out local artists and everything. So to see the way that you guys do things in a completely different avenue or medium than we do things, but still just the connection that you guys show with local artists and the way that you just respect and treat your guests that I was lucky to be a part of. Really just honestly gave me some ideas, for the garden and everything else because like I said, we have a similar mission and I think just getting to learn from you guys in any capacity is awesome.
Well, what piece of advice would you give to someone wanting to be an artist like yourselves and have a platform like you do?
I think there's plenty of things you can do if you're a local artist to get out there. And I think I might have got to talk a little bit about my perspective on that on the podcast. So Rachel, if you have any advice for people trying to get out there in the local scene?
I definitely think that you can hit up some open mics, which we happen to host 2 of them, Tuesday nights and on Sunday at Art Garden, which is where we are now. Hit up open mics and connect with people in your local music community. That's what I would say. I feel like I've been a lot more comfortable getting on stage and meeting people out and about, other local creatives. It's been a lot of fun.
Just get out there, we're not shy.
You're right. What is the biggest obstacle you've ran into so far, and how did you overcome it?
I was just gonna say, money's always a big one, especially when you're trying to do something locally and with local artists. Everyone's trying to go out there and do their own thing and put their stamp on stuff, and everyone's not doing it full time. We're trying to do what we can, and I think money's a big obstacle. But again, it just goes back to the community that we have. And that's what helped us overcome it. All the great people like GCU and other people that have helped us with an outlet or somewhere to be able to, not pay, $1 million to do something. Hey, we got an idea, you guys get an idea. Let's see how we can do this together.
I would say the biggest obstacle thus far has been whenever the speakers blew out. That was a big financial burden, but there are people that donated to help us get a new speaker system so that we can continue hosting open mic and doing Art Garden. So thank you guys to those who donated and helping us out.
Budget was tight for a couple months, but we definitely raised over half the money from our community.
How has the garden evolved from the relationships you've built and the resources that have come along?
I think the relationships are everything. I think if it's not for the community we have, the artists we support, and the people that support us, it would be nothing. A good new relationship that I've been lucky to be a part of, and the garden has been Rachel. She knows a lot about the local community. She's lived here her whole life. And that's just one example of, all the different people we've been in contact with. Another one's behind us with Art Garden. And we're talking to you guys. And, it's all about that. The relationships are everything. You got anything to add to that?
I feel like I came from a different side of Kansas City music, and I sing in a wedding band, and there is a lot closer of a community that I felt like I was missing, and I feel like since joining him and this, I met so many amazing musicians, so many amazing people, and it really feels like a big family because we see each other almost weekly. I'm seeing the same familiar faces, musicians that are supporting others shows, and I'm always seeing them support each other, so that's really great to see.
So you mentioned the garden is from April to October, so what can we expect to experience next season? Any specific themes or anything we should be looking for?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're working on a lot of stuff that's exciting. One thing is trying to just develop our partnerships more. Like we do we do stuff with Art Garden here every Sunday. I think there's an opportunity for them to maybe help us out with our open mics to bring some vendors and more people there. And there's an opportunity to integrate other things to help us with social media and podcasts. And I don't think we're going to be doing anything super different as you use the themes and stuff with the concerts at the house, but it's just going to be more developed with how we can use the partnerships and relationships we've built to enhance those events for our community and the people around us.
I'm just gonna say bigger, better, and we're looking to really take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think
we're excited.
We celebrated 1 year of the garden September 9th, so it's been 1 year, and I think we learned a lot. Now it's time to see how we can take it to the next level, like Rachel said.
Yeah, and I would say kudos to Tanner because he's not even a native to Kansas City, and he has really taken things into his own hands. He's like, okay, I see there's this thing that Kansas City needs, and I'm going to give it to them. And he's really just hammering on what he wants to do and creating his own community. I think it's been really cool to see.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lastly, I want to say, what is different now from when you decided to cut down a tree?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just an idea, right? Let's cut a tree down in the yard and have a show. There was no intention of it happening ever again after one time. But then, I mean, once there was an actual stage there and stuff, we're like, okay, we're in for it now, right? But we had no clue what we were doing. Like I said, it's been a year. There's going to be a lot more people that you're going to see that are going to be part of the garden and putting their stamp on it, such as Rachel, such as Antonio J, who I know you've interviewed, who has a big influence in the hip-hop community that I don't. So I think just, again, more stuff, more wider range of things we can do to help our community. So.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. Now, if you aren't watching GCU movie reviews, then you are sleeping because these girls are hilarious. I would actually rather watch some of their reviews more than the movie.
And welcome to GCU Reviews.
I really feel like the whole point was to only use negative things about the black culture to attack the black culture, but none of the good things.
And it was kind of crazy seeing him as a grumpy old man.
Extremely grumpy. Like if you close your eyes, it's like it's angry Woody talking. Like why is Woody so angry?
Like did he spend too much time on the island talking to the soccer ball girl?
And she done cheated on her. Cheated on her.
Yeah.
But you know, it was bound to happen. The chemistry was too tight between them. And eventually push come to shove and she got to make a decision. Which one you want? Do you want him?
Who do you love?
Or do you want me?
Are you sure?
She don't know. So 700,000 young people have been through some sort of conversion therapy. And that was as of 2018 when they did that movie. 700,000. What is the statistic on how many of them are still here today? What is the statistic of how many were abused? And before you open your mouth to say, well, you know what, I'm just going to hate what God hates. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you a PSA and then I'm going to end this. You can't hate what God hates because you don't have the power to. You can't hate what God hates because you don't have the love that God has.
Message.
You need to catch that first.
But it's a hot for us. Day Shift, Jamie Foxx, Megan Good, Snoop Doggy Dogg,
yes.
D-O-double-G.
Yay.
And it's set in LA, baby. So check it out. I liked it.
I enjoyed it. Y'all,
I hope y'all
like it too. Make sure that you like our video, you comment, let us know what you think of the movie, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I am so honored to be trusted to fill the role of your funny and kind-hearted host, Danielle Cox. Thank you so much for allowing me to put you in the hot seat. How does it feel to be in that seat?
It's just as hot as that seat, but I think that's the lights, honestly. But it's a little bit hotter. I'm not used to being on this side being asked the question. So I am really excited for this. This is going to be fun.
Well, let's see what's going on in that funny little brain of yours.
I don't know if you want to know all that.
So, from my understanding, this show was kind of an idea of yours, but also it took T nudging you to do it. So, what was your reservation?
Well, it wasn't so much that it was my idea per se, but it did, as T mentioned, start out as the original idea being a radio show for independent artists. And I have always had like different jobs in the back of my mind that I felt like I could do, and radio was one of them. And so when I heard it was gonna be a radio show, I was like, bet, let's do that. I'm with it. And so then, as he mentioned, he revealed to me over lunch, that he was gonna pull out the good bamboozle, and all of a sudden it's a TV show. And he didn't even introduce it to me as being that. He said, okay, so because you're going to be on camera and you're going to, and I said, wait, whoa. Cameras? Did you say cameras? And he was like, yeah, it's going to be a TV show. I said, I thought it was going to be a radio show. He's like, no, I didn't tell you that. It's going to be on camera now. I was like, oh, okay. So now I got to buy makeup and I have to buy clothes. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, fine. I still want to do it. So that's kind of what happened.
I love that. Thank you. So this show is so authentic and it's beautifully crafted.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You continuously bring on well-diverse independent artists. What is your mission when you bring them on? What is your envision?
So for me, because it's independent artists, right? These are people that they're struggling for a platform. They're trying to find where they not just can fit in, but where they can break out and be seen. And I had to think to myself, what is the thing that someone like that would need the most from an audience? And coming across new eyes. And so that made me think to have my goal to be to endear the guests to my audience, because endearing them to the audience helps them get support. Even if the genre of music that a particular artist does may not be your bag or your cup of tea, if you feel like you like that person and you relate to that person, you're going to go on and follow them on Instagram anyway. And that means everything to them. Additional followers, additional eyes on their music, you saying, hey, I'm not really into this, but I know my friend who might, that means everything. That is pivotal in their careers. And so it is a huge responsibility, because I want to make sure that I'm helping them with that. You know what I'm saying? And then also giving my viewers content that'll help them, whether they're artists who are doing the same thing, and this is also one of their goals, whether they're supporters who already love my guests and are there because they want to encourage them and put more eyes on them, or if it's just somebody who is interested in hearing other people's stories and other people's journeys, because that's a thing too. It's a delicate balance, but and with it being, again, a huge responsibility, I don't take it lightly. I try to have fun with them. I try to look and see what their story is, how that lines up with my perception of their art. And then I get information about their perception of their art. And it really helps just pull everything into focus. I think it eventually leads to overall story arcs even throughout the season.
Yeah.
Of the kind of people that we have and the kind of stories that they bring to the forefront.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's like you have those connections, like you were mentioning. You never know if my friend's going to like your music, but I might not be into it or something like that.
Right.
The beautiful thing is, who do you know that might need to know this, that might connect with it? So that's a very important part. How have you seen the show evolve from what you originally envisioned to what it is now, other than being on camera?
So it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot of twists and turns. The overall vision to give a platform to highlight independent artists has always been there. But how I've structured the way that I do my questions, how I've structured my approach to the stories for the guests, all of that has changed over time. And it really came from experience. Anytime you have an idea you can prepare for it as much as possible, but then there's a certain path that you have to go on. You have to start and you have to make that move in order for experience to teach you the things to fill in the gaps.
Absolutely.
So anything that has grown and evolved from that starting point has really been because I, after talking with guests, after getting their stories, after seeing the finished product, what else can I do? How can I make this better? Finding out what works and what doesn't. That's really how the evolution has come about. I feel right now, with me being more comfortable, because even if you think you're comfortable, experience teaches you. You could always get better.
Yeah.
It helps me to help bring out more from my guests too.
Yeah.
So I think that's been one of the biggest things.
And just seeing you evolve as you've been doing the show has been beautiful.
Yeah. Even though at first I was like, oh my God, you're airing the first episode and I was so nervous. And they tell you, no, nobody knows about those things except you.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, so what has been the challenges for you from the beginning to now individually?
So it's very important to know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. Because for me, one of the things that I started out really wanting to get under my belt is consistency and focus. So those two things were challenging because at the time when this came into my life, I was struggling with both of those things really hard in my work life and in my personal life. And here I am taking on this very out in the front opportunity while still struggling with these things. But the difference is when you connect with a purpose and you have purpose partners to connect with, that changes something in you and helps you. It does. And it helps you to walk that path a little bit better and to, hunker down and do the things that you need to do. And so I feel that I've grown in those areas in ways that had this not happened, I don't know if it would have come about the same way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So who is Danielle I know that you really like to provide the platform to independent artists, but is Danielle an artist or what is her passion?
So really, I'm one of those people. I'm jack of all trades, master of none is what they say. Again, back to the consistency and focus thing that I was talking about earlier. I see all these different things that I like and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And there's so many things that I can be good at that I haven't really focused on. I do not sing. So that's not one thing that happens. I will sing, but I probably shouldn't. But I will. But I will. And so, but it's not, I'm not a singer. Everybody should be able to sing if that's what they feel, but I'm not a singer. I do like art from a young age. I'd always loved art. Art museum was like my safe place, a sanctuary for me. I used to go all the time. I still do. I do draw. I do paint. I haven't put anything out because it's something that I just kind of stopped doing after a little while. But when I get a few minutes to breathe, I'd like to get back into creating because I feel like that will also lend to my creative abilities here.
Yeah.
Getting back into a creative space for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. And now that you are beginning to connect to your audience, you're beginning to create an identity online and that kind of thing. So what if we want more of Danielle? What can we expect from you? How, what are you doing? Is this the main focus or what can we see of Danielle?
You want more of me, you say? Oh, that's a big ask. No, I'm kidding. So, well, right now, yes, this show is the focus of where I'm putting my creative energy at this point, outside of doing little things for myself, as I mentioned, wanting to try to get back into painting and things. But I can be found tooling around, posting about the show and working on my Instagram editing on my page, which is Danny Booski 82. So you can follow my hijinks there. I'm trying to work together some things for TikTok to get that together next. So yeah, I'll have some more shenanigans coming out soon. Just different things that I can get into to A, highlight the show more, B, put myself out there more, and C, work on different creative aspects for myself, like stretch those different creative muscles. So that's what I'm doing.
And you know, I think it's beautiful that you're mentioning, not lose sight of the fact that you to report people, and that within itself about that, you know, have such a beautiful gift, and that within itself is a gift.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for allowing me to take over your seat today and trusting me to take care of all of your amazing guests and your beautiful production team. So we're ending a season.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the end of it.
This is the closer.
What's next? Are we having another season, or I'm excited? What's up? What's next?
Yes, we are. I'm so glad you asked. And I can let all of you know right now that December 1st will be the start of season 2 of Getting Close Up. And you guys will not want to miss it. We have so many great guests, a lot of great, ambitious people telling their wonderful stories. I'm so excited for it. As a matter of fact, I am so excited for it. I have a preview of it, and you can watch that right now. Getting close up. Getting close up. Getting close up. Getting close up.
Woo, that was good. I cannot wait for that season.
Me either. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. As you can see, we are bringing hot fire this season. And I can also let you know now that December 1st is the premiere date for season 2. So yes, mark your calendars, and actually do better than that. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. You won't have to remember anything. When the new episode drops, you'll get a notification. It's easy. Speaking of easy, you made this look good, girl.
Thank you.
I mean, I know how hard the job is. So I just want to say that I appreciate you for doing this so well and being prepared with so much grace.
It was fun. I appreciate you having me on.
Also, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram under the handle srichlife_coach. But also take a look out for my production company, Rich Connections Productions. I have a couple of projects coming up that I'm super excited about, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Yes, she's got a lot coming, so keep your eye out on this one.
Links will be below.
Thank you so much. I'd like to share also, to close all of this out, something very special. Episode 8, I got the amazing opportunity to interview a talented singer and songwriter named Mike Murphy. And in that conversation, we talked about his 20-year-long journey as an artist and performer. And I'm honored to know that that conversation sparked him to write a song called Leap of Faith. And it's available now on all streaming platforms. And we're going to close out this episode with it. I'd like to thank you guys for being the best part of this entire thing, for hanging with us, for watching the shows, for liking and commenting and subscribing. We couldn't do it without you. And I'll see you December 1st for the premiere of season 2. I'll be checking for you. And again, this is Mike Murphy. Leap of Faith.
Till you try, so they say. Here we go, time to fly, fly.